Another episode of What the Fellas Think, the podcast for the fellas, not just for the fellas, for the people. What is my motto? Educate, entertain, and inspire. And we plan on doing that in the next few coming weeks. Before I get started, and this is to you, Brandon, I was just looking at episode 17, the one I did not participate in, and it was you and Jeremy. And I hope you don't take this away, but I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Jeremy spoke up more, was more interactive. So I guess that's his. I guess that's his mo when we all together. He's just gonna lay in the cut, let me act the fool, let Brandon fly off the handle in angry black mode, and he seems like the sensible one. But no, really, that was a great episode, and I wanted to commend you guys. Now I just gotta up my game because I want y'all to need me. I don't want y'all. I don't want to. I don't want to become Eddie David Ruffin of the Temptations. This is Elroy Johnson, and these are what the fellas think. No, I'm glad to see that we can. And excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. Thank you, Houston. um, that we can, even when we're not whole, we can sustain. You and Jeremy did a couple of shows now, but this one recently was the most impressive. We did one. Just wait to see what it's going to be like when it's me and Jeremy doing the show. That'll definitely be a. You know what? We think we're going to wait till Brandon can get back, but you never know. He might rise to the occasion.
I'm
So
sure y'all can do it.
it's been a pretty eventful week in the world. Um, I want to start out with the minor. I want to start out with the appetizer before we get to the main course. Talking about Diddy, um, a former bad boy employee or intern or whoever has come forth with a lawsuit against Puffy. Strange thing about it, immediately I thought she filed the petition in New York when she actually did it in L.A. Whereas New York has that no statute of limitations for sexual assault, but she
Mhm.
chose to file it in LA. I wonder if she's looking for monetary compensation and not a conviction, which I believe it is from what I've read so far. She gave some horrific visuals of what allegedly happened to her, drinking the wine, passing out, waking up with her arms tied behind her back, with Puffy on top of her vomiting and him just wiping it away and just still going at it, allegedly. The diddler's doing it. And I'm sorry to say, yeah, I know we always try to do this, we do that. I mean, I think Bill Cosby did it. And I think Puffy did it. And not saying that every black male that's committed, accused of sexual assault, that they did it. No, I don't think that way. But from an entertainment standpoint, I believe they get off on that. And everybody's these videos. I've been watching a lot of videos at work when I should be working on YouTube, and we were just talking about work and how swamped I was, but yet I'm watching videos. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and all these videos are showing up about Diddy, and they're taking clips from old interviews, and it's like he's dry snitching on himself. He was talking to Ellen DeGeneres on her show, and she was saying how she's never been to a party, and she's like, "I wonder what it's like after midnight." And he was like, "Oh, it turns into a whole different party." I think he's dry snitching on himself. He wants to brag, but he's actually telling on himself. So where I'm going with this, yeah, another lawsuit against Diddy, second attempt at getting out on bail, which has been denied. We're gonna keep with this. There's gonna be some kind of turnout. I'm hearing stuff. I watched one about Usher and supposedly, allegedly, hear my words clearly, that Puffy gave Usher herpes, and Usher ended up giving it to other individuals. And it's hard not to believe it being true. I did hear about the herpes rumors. There's just a lot going on, and it's all about to come to light. So, Diddy, if you did it, I feel for you, bro. I mean, he even has Biggie's mom, Valletta Wallace, angry at him. She held him in such high regards. She made a statement. This was a while back about something else. She said, "If I see him, I'd smack him in his face." And at the same time, she was the one saying, "Watch out for my baby. Take care of my baby." And her baby was broke. Diddy was taking in all the money. Biggie was making plans to make a move, and miraculously, he died. And speaking about miraculously dying, and I don't mean it in a light way, his ex girlfriend, Kim Porter, I was watching YouTube again, videos that said that she had video footage, security footage of Bad Boy Entertainment. She thought he was messing around. So she was looking at she somehow got hold of the video footage and she didn't see him cheating with a female. Allegedly, Andre Harrell, his mentor, they were doing some things. And another individual who they didn't want to mention was in the videos. And prior to Kim Porter dying, there was a break into her house, and the only thing stolen was laptops. I believe they said that she was working on a book to kind of expose him. I don't know why you want to do that to your baby daddy unless you wanted a nice payday, but allegedly that's what was said, and Kim mysteriously died. So
Nah,
one thing can bring up another, and if they're looking at something, they might dig deeper and find something else. So Diddy, I hope these are just rumors.
now, I'm gonna address everything you said bit by bit though. But first, I want to say I do not believe Bill Cosby did what he did, and I'll tell you why. And it may piss a lot of people off, but that's fine. To me, those women, if it's true what they say that he put stuff in their drink, they didn't know what was happening. They had suspicions of what was happening. Like people coming forward and saying that could possibly be true, possibly be true. But if it is true, why would they wait 33 years after the fact to say, hey, this happened, that happened? That was my thing, my whole thing with that. And then for him to get 33 years per count, it felt like just on the outside looking in was a more of a we gonna make an example out of you type situation for a man that's 88. They it got played up. It got played up to for him to be some type of horrific monster when we truly and we still to this day truly don't know what happened. Everybody has their suspicions because there's a I forget the lady's name. She's been on reality TV and she was a supermodel. I forget her name, but I firmly don't believe a word coming out of her mouth because she's had situations where she's been on camera crying and doing all this stuff, and then none of it's been true. Her lifestyle, what she does, she's not a credible person to me. But that's why that whole situation is like mucky to me with when it comes to Big Bill Cosby. I'm just like, I don't know about that because it just seems sketchy to me. Now when it comes to Diddy and his situation, it's just like I felt he's been untouchable for so long. I think he's felt that in his mind, and his sons feel that too. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, his son has an allegation against him too now, for
Hmm.
sexual assault. So it's crazy the stuff that's going on with celebrities now, and people talk about this. I mean, there's stories of people out there, actors. I'm not gonna say names, but actors we know played in movies, Django, you know, out there, doing stuff, he wasn't supposed to say even doing, on his knees and stuff. And I'm like, that's just crazy to think that people would go that far just to be famous. Like I would, you people, and I think that's a big of a problem in society. People will jeopardize their morals for fame or
Fame.
money. Yeah,
It's just like
and
selling your soul. Now, I did. Now, I want you to continue because you had some good points. But let me do a quick rebuttal. Um, I don't think every woman that Bill Cosby allegedly, because he wasn't, well, I guess he was convicted, but not of all counts. Um, I think some were aware that they were being drugged. Maybe that's some fantasy, or he likes the body reaction when they're drugged. Maybe that's a thing. But I don't think everyone was not aware. I think some were aware that they were taking Quaaludes, I believe what it was. And the story for the witch hunt was there was speculation that Bill Cosby was gunning to purchase NBC, and they needed to discredit him from gaining that capital. That's what I heard about that. And you made a point about Diddy, but I quickly forgot. But no, continue with your rebuts though.
my point with Diddy is I think he got used to being untouchable for so long. He just felt he can do whatever he wants, and it played off to his sons because they have that same mentality.
Mm,
And I think for Diddy, I think he's so even now through the midst of it, he's so calm with it. Even though when that stuff came out of him beating his girlfriend in the hotel,
hmm
he put out a video. But even then, he's calm with it.
I didn't
He's
buy
not.
that. That was
Yeah,
damage control.
yeah,
But so you think right now, sitting in solitary confinement on suicide watch, that Diddy is really calm about this? Is that he's doing all
yeah.
of this
I
for
I just
strategy?
I feel like just on the outside looking in. Of course, we don't know the real conversations, but on the outside looking in, I feel like if he gonna do the the CMB type situation, if I'm going down, you going down. That's what I feel like because ain't no way you having mansion parties with regular smuggler folks.
Right.
It's some people in that mansion party that
Exclusive.
don't be on camera. Yeah, that don't be on camera, but they are part of everyday world that we live in today, and they don't be on camera, but they got money, they got power,
They got
and a lot of people
influence.
confuse influence. A lot of people confuse money with power. There are people with power who got real power, and they make those decisions. And if they in them parties, they can lose that power. And that's the
So
that's the thing.
my thing about that, that's what I remember. There's also accusations of Diddy being a police informant, a federal government informant, and that's probably running short. His reign or getting away with stuff is kind of withered away. So now he's paying for these things that he did for allegedly over 30 years. You know, can't stop, won't stop. Had to throw a joke in there. And
But
then the
that's
last thing I want to say, and what people would do for fame. I heard a story, and I'm gonna try to be as vague as possible because I can't afford no lawsuits. There was a popular sitcom that we used to watch. I forgot what day the Fresh Prince came on, but no, that no, allegedly Will Smith sold his soul in a manner to get the fame that he did, and that the same role was offered to somebody else, and when he found out what he had to do for it, he walked away from it. And the person behind that, Benny Medina, there's been tons of stories about him, and not many stories, but assumptions of his exploits. Of course, being a guy of influence and power, there's probably no cameras. He's smart. He's smart enough not to jump in front of a camera, but then again, they grab video from Diddy House. Uh, he engaged in some of those things too. Just plain and simple. He engaged in some of those things, and I guess this was a time where it was acceptable. We always heard about the casting couch, whether we thought it was a joke or, oh, okay, that makes sense. But they didn't look at the overall, hey, you want this role, this is what you got to do. I mean, that's sexual harassment. That's, prostitution. If you say you got to do the homies. But it's the casting couch, and if you want that 3 minutes on the love boat, this is what you got to do.
And that's my big thing with that is like how are people so there are people out there that are comfortable with that though. And I mean, and people do it every day though. I mean, you got OnlyFans out here, mothers, teachers, ex teachers, like screw teaching. I'm finna go do this, you know, spread my body on here just for these coins, right? But that's the world we live in. People they'll jeopardize the moral, their inner selves for the money. And then even in today's world, people make money such a big thing. And I'm sorry if I'm tying this to other stuff, but they make money such a big thing that it plays into a relationship, right? If a man don't make this amount of money or that amount of money, you ain't in my caliber. Or what's the saying? You ain't my caliber, punk.
Right. So
uh,
no, they'll chase that money for some undesirable guy that beats on them, but then says, you know what, you shouldn't have done that. You made me mad. I get mad what I do. Here, go buy a bag. And they'll go buy a bag and be happy with it, you know, while they wearing dark sunglasses at night, trying to hide up their
and
bruises.
that's my thing. People will do. That's how R. Kelly got away with it for so long. Money. People will jeopardize the kids, the family for money,
I
and
heard
it's
he gave up publishing on two of his best albums just to keep people quiet. That he doesn't own publishing on 12 Play, and I forgot the other album. I believe it was the one after that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you left with nothing when you got your little freaky situations going on. You're enjoying yourself then, but there's a tab to pay at the end. I guess when allegedly, can we say allegedly word Kelly? We know he was doing this shit even before the internet was popping. Growing up on the South Side, there was talk about him always hanging up at Kenwood. But anyhow, now he's left with nothing,
and
and
that
he
that's the
wasn't thinking
thing.
about that at the time.
That's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. Like there are so many stories, and we all grew up in Chicago. There's dudes walking around here that's 40 years old trying to get with these 15-year-olds. But there was stories of R. Kelly going to Wendy's, going to
McDonald's.
uh going to these high schools, meeting these kids, these girls, and come with me, come with me. We got this dance and this stuff. Going talking to parents, and parents fully know what's going on in the environment, and they
But they
still
chasing
letting their
that
daughter go.
paper, yeah.
Yeah,
Rather thinking we can sue them later, or let's see how far this gets us. We get something out of it. Yeah, but that's prostitution right there, if you ask me. And you know what? I'm not just going to throw shame on R. Kelly because that was a common thing in high school. You see these girls, they were sophomores, and some guy in a car coming to pick them up, full facial hair, full ass beard and shit. And this was
Well,
before.
as a person in high school, I ain't understand that shit. I ain't understand it. I'm looking like, what the hell? And your mama allowed this, your daddy allowed this. Cause I know,
I
man.
don't think they
eh,
fully knew, but we saw that shit all the time. Some grown ass man coming to pick up some high school girl from school. That wasn't her uncle. Sure as hell wasn't her daddy.
nah, not at all. Not at all. But we all know that there are girls in high school that think they 40, they 30, they grown, and that's the sad part about reality today, because I look back as a person with daughters and be like, man, that'll make me cry after I kill a motherfucker. But excuse me, but that's still gonna make me cry.
No, you know what? You just said something that no, and this is something I'm really curious about. You said something after you kill them. Well,
Mm.
God forbid, your daughters they don't come, put you in that situation. But are we really willing to kill and go to jail? Because we not look really. This is me playing devil's advocate.
Mm.
Unless she was walking down the street and got snatched up, that's one thing. But them willing to get in the car, you got to look at their morals. I know you tried to steer them in the right way, but they out doing some thought shit. So is it? And
Nah, I'm
and this
sorry.
is I'm just sorry. This
I'm
is thought
sorry.
provoking. Is it really going to jail if she was a willing participant and you
I'm
think
sorry.
she should have known better? And I'm
I'm
not.
I'm
Oh,
I'm
say,
gonna
say.
put it in this. I'm gonna put it in this term. As a parent, right? The kid didn't ask to be in this world, but they experienced this world, and in that situation, the reason I would say I would cry is because that means I didn't do enough to protect or enough to
Right.
guide.
No, I get that.
So,
But the
and then
killing
and
part.
then the fact that the fact. No, I'm gonna get to it.
Mm,
The fact that the fact that it happened to them and I didn't do anything about it, I would be so upset and so distraught. So yes, I actually would, and I wouldn't regret it at all. So
okay.
that's I'm gonna be 100% honest
But then
because
again,
in
I'm
that
playing
situation,
devil's advocate.
in that situation, it would be crushing to me, and the only how do I put this? The only way to rectify the situation is I got to lay hands on that person. Like I have that's the only way to me, just to me,
No, I
and
hear you,
nobody.
but and
Yeah,
again, being trying to thought or provoke thought. Now you're not there to protect them no more.
yeah, I know, but in that moment, it's not gonna be thought out like that. It's just I'm sorry. That's just me. That's
Don't
why
apologize for being
that's
you.
yeah, but that's just me. Now whether it's right or wrong, that's for God to decide. But for me, no, I can't play that one come. And I know that.
And I'm thinking about something I seen on social media. It was a cartoon, or it was real, and they just captioned it whatever, where the girl says, "This guy I was messing with did this to me," and she's telling this to her husband. Like what? Your side dude whooped your ass. Now you want me to go whoop his ass? What should I be doing to you for having a side dude?
That's different.
And I'm, and
That's
I'm and I'm saying it in a different manner, but it's played out like my
different.
boyfriend just hit me, and it's something he announced himself as a husband and shit. I'm like, that'll be some cold shit to tell your husband, look, my side dude hit me. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna give you a matching set, bitch. Just a joke. We don't hit women. Oh, and please forgive me. Um, I forgot to say this podcast is overseen by my man Roy Tiger Brown. Rest in peace. Yesterday was his birthday. It was rough for everybody. But not to deter from the thing, but yeah, you wouldn't
How
be
old
there to
was it?
protect him no more. He would have been 53. No, no, no. I take that back. He would have been 52. 'Cause He's a
52 years young.
he's a year older than me,
Well, you don't have to
and
age just. You ain't
I'm
have to
proud of
age
my
yourself.
age. I'm proud of my age.
You ain't walking around with that Beijing. You ain't.
So I did do an old person thing today. I had some butterscotch. I think that's an old people candy. You know, a little
And
wrapped up in the
wait,
gold wrapper.
was it the hard candy or the chewy little?
The hard candy. The
Oh
one,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one like, here, son, you want some butterscotch? And I enjoyed that
yeah.
butterscotch today. So while we're talking about health, again, we will have a special coming up in November because November is Men's Health Month. We will have a professional in the medical field, actually my doctor, Jeremy's doctor as well. I put him on to him. He's going to be on. He's going to discuss what men, because me and my doctor are the same age, what we should be doing to take care of ourselves. Not to deter from the hot topics and everything, but I'm still trying to recover from the surgery I had. My energy level still isn't there. My appetite comes and goes. So it's still kind of a struggle. Well, not a struggle. It's just getting used to. And I'm trying to get back to my norm, so to say. But we will have a special on men's health in the month of November. And not to get distracted, we want to keep with the hot topics. And we got another hot topic to discuss. Um, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this in the news, and I'm gonna let Brandon take it from here.
Yes, it's the Marcellus Williams case or story. Now, if people aren't familiar with it, this man was accused and convicted of murder of Felicia Gale. She was a reporter, stabbed in her apartment 43 times. Uh, it was considered a murder with burglary attached, and he stole from us. Supposedly, this is how they came across Marcellus Williams. His ex-girlfriend said he confessed to the murder. And another informant came across and said he sold stolen items to him, which were then later pawned to a pawn shop and all that. That's how they tied to Marcellus Williams. But there was no physical evidence attaching him to the murder, from the murder weapon, blood, none of that. And then when they finally test the DNA sample to show that it's not him, it's not him. And then that was supposed to be grounds for a new trial or for his clemency, to grant his clemency. And they did do a stay of execution because he was supposed to be executed in August 2017, but it was a stay of execution postponed so they can determine if this evidence is grounds for a new trial. And the Supreme Court dismissed it, saying it's not. And then he's going to be executed, which was unfortunately was last night. And the thing is, if the evidence doesn't tie this man to the crime, you have no idea if you have the right man, really. That's my thing with it. And that's what made me think back and look at this case, because it's like you could possibly have executed an innocent man and you don't want to be 100% sure of that, because that means whoever stabbed her 43 times is still out there on the street, and now an innocent man is dead for nothing. And the same Missouri governor that could have granted clemency to the let me get their names correctly, the couple that held guns at the peaceful protest in front of their house. He granted clemency to them within a heartbeat to them. But a man that spent years in jail already, and then not to have new evidence that shows he was not him. And
So
you
let me
still
stop you
don't.
right there. You said the same judge that could have stopped this execution gave clemency to a
Governor, governor,
couple, governor,
governor.
okay,
Yeah.
could have gave clemency to a couple that brandished firearms. Is this the couple? They were in a, I guess, a rich neighborhood, so to say, and they
Yes.
brandished these assault rifles. This
Mm.
happened not even 2 years ago, if that.
2020.
2020. Okay, it's been that long. Okay, so no, okay. Well, I'm thinking the same thing, and I agree. If there's no physical evidence, his conviction, his life was ended by hearsay.
Exactly. That's my thing, and that's the gripe I took with it because I would think if you're gonna kill someone, lethal injection, you would want to be 100% sure of that because that's not something you should take lightly.
That's not
Because you
something you can
killed,
take back. Oops, no, you
yeah,
don't. You don't have to die. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because really, that means you committed murder. You committed murder, and no, everybody's like playing it off, like it's whatever. The Missouri governor is playing it off. It's whatever. It's not whatever because you could possibly have killed an innocent man and you have no remorse of it. Like that's the thing that gets me with the whole situation. It's like the Supreme Court, no recollection, no remorse of like you could have possibly killed an innocent man. Like let's be 100% sure of this before we do that act. And that's the thing with it. But I gave my opinion on it. Let me hear what the other third of the what the fellas think.
no, I agree with you. His life ended over hearsay. Who's to say the girlfriend and the guy that allegedly sold stuff or pawned it or whatever weren't in cahoots together, that they did something? And let's say for the fact that it is true, you still have nothing well, the DNA showed that it wasn't him. I think we really need to look at the law because to me, like you said, they just committed murder. If I'm going to go after somebody with vengeance or whatever, I don't want to go, oh, what did he look like? They give some vague description. And I just so happen to see somebody, in the description. I'm not sure. And I hope I'm not that blind with rage to just attack him because, oh, he had on a t-shirt and some blue jeans, you know,
Exactly.
t-shirt and blue jeans, black guy or whatever guy, no, that's, how can you sleep at night? How can you go to sleep at night, whether you're the one that administered the drugs, the one that could have stopped the execution, all the parties involved? How did you go to sleep last night? And this isn't, oh, I'm sticking up for the black man. If it was a white guy with the same situation, you just killed the guy over what somebody said and no real physical evidence at the time. I mean, the least worst thing you can do is keep him in jail. But to say I'm gonna kill him, let's say in his life, because we're not really sure. Now, if they got him on video coming out the residence, with blood on his body, a knife, merchandise under his arm, and it has audio saying, "Yeah, I killed that bitch. I'm gonna go get high," whatever, or you show him in a pawn shop looking nervous. You know, that's to me, that's kind of leaning towards guilty, but just because somebody said it doesn't make it true. And we live in a world now where somebody can say something about you out of anger and people will believe it before they believe the truth. There's a personal story, nothing that involved me, but a relative of mine. An accusation was made about him, and it wasn't true.
Mhm.
But yet, when you slap a sticker on somebody, people love to believe bullshit. So no matter what you say, they're gonna believe it, and you're gonna be treated like you got all the evidence in the world in your back pocket, that anybody can pull out to see. But that labeling stuff is crazy. Just like I say now that AI, if you can make a video and put somebody in it doing some horrible act and it looks real,
Mhm.
they're gonna believe it.
That's
That
one
that
thing that's a threat to me because AI is powerful. It's powerful. They're making songs, making people voices the same. And we had a previous podcast talking about that. They're making voices, they're making images. Like you can be anywhere. They can say you committed the murder
yes.
and you were nowhere in sight, but they got you on video.
Oh man. They try to pin something on me. I'm like, man, I got my work phone, I got my personal phone, ping them motherfuckers. I got the iPads, I got a hybrid truck. I'm sure that does have tracking because I got a satellite. I got Sirius connected to it. Track the fuck out of me. I was not there.
Yeah.
Track me.
That's
I was not there. So recently, and I think I've mentioned this before too, I've had my same phone number since 96, 1996. Never changed. All of a sudden, within the last year or so, I've been getting these random texts. Hey, Bob, let's go golfing. Or, hey, it was really nice to meet you. And I'm like, you didn't meet me. And at first, I kind of fell for the okey doke. I was doing the who is this? So when I get these texts now and it says something random, like, oh, are we still on for Friday? Block. If I see a number I don't know, and I can do this, I don't have kids. I don't have to answer the phone every time it rings. If I see a phone number I don't recognize, I won't answer it. If it's important, you'll call or text me. It's like, hey, it's such and such. This is my new number. Like, hit me back. I don't answer that because now they got it where if you engage in conversation, hello, who is this? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? They can rob your voice and switch it around, and they can say all the letters of the alphabet, and call your parents up like, "Hey, Dad, I'm in jail." But they can, if you send money to this card, I can get out.
mm.
Thank God my father wouldn't fall for nothing like that because he'd be like, "What the hell did you do?" Like, oh, such and such. Well, your ass deserved to be in jail. Click. That'd be my old man right there. No, but yeah, that the AI scary as fuck. Scary as fuck.
they
But
already
yeah,
got the they already got the technology, like we were saying in our previous podcast. They got the technology where they can recognize your face in a crowd. They can
yeah.
find you. That's just it's crazy, man. That's the technology is so advanced now. It's like set you up for whatever you want.
And that's the technology
Crazy.
that we know about. What about the
Mhm.
technology that they're using that they don't want to share that they're using because they don't want nobody to know they got it? Like right now, they're listening to our podcast. They're putting us on a special list.
I'll be
I just
on
want to
that
say
list
for
with
the
Donald.
record, I admit I am Elroy Johnson and he is Brandon Johnson, but we are no way related.
Hey, I
Mm.
just hope it ain't that same list that Donald Trump on, cause them hitman that came after him, boy, y'all need some more training.
You know what? I said something last week that I shouldn't have said. So I'm gonna say it again so y'all know what I was talking about that I was wrong. Third time's a charm. And I'm gonna leave it like that. Don't say that. That was wrong. That was very wrong of me. Bad Roy, bad Roy, bad Roy, bad Roy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? So what else is going on, man? I mean, I don't want to make light of it, but what more can we say? A life was taken unnecessarily, and we really
Well,
need to look at the justice system about how we do things. Some things you can't take back. Even spending 30
exactly.
years in jail for a crime you didn't commit, you can't get that time back. And then there's cases where they don't want to declare you innocent or give you a certificate. It's some cheap acknowledgement that you didn't do it so that you can't file a civil suit against the city or state that convicted you. And I think that's fucked up. The worst thing you can do, you take away a man's time. If he doesn't have a
Can't
skill
get that back.
now, you can't get it back. And then you put a caged beast out into the street, and he goes back to what he as a
To
15 or
survive.
16-year-old.
To
And so
survive.
all it's doing is it's either a revolving door where he's going to do something because that's all he knows. He ends up back in jail, or you throwing some chump change. And I'm sure in jail he didn't learn finances. That's the last thing I'm thinking about. And hopefully, like a gentleman just got a so weirdly, and I'm gonna step off from this. Shout out to Ti and his wife. They've been fighting the case for a long time, for over 10 years now, and it finally settled in their favor. $71 million.
OMG girls.
Yes, still in their likeness.
Mm.
Uh, I'm sure Ti ain't gonna fuck it off, and long as he don't get none to his son King. Uh, but yeah, you give them this lump sum of money and expect everything to just go away. It's like, okay, maybe I can get established in the world, but I'm gonna still think about all this time that was taken from me. Between 18 and 25, those are your pinnacle years of growth and maturity in the world. And if you spent that time in jail, all you got to offer the world is how to make wine out of the toilet.
What you
um,
what you it's good that you bring that up because I mean it's great that they won that case, but what you think about celebrity sons like that? Like King. His son is making
King,
music, right? King
no,
had Ti
so
has two sons. Ti
Demonte,
has
Demonte, he's making music. It's not rap.
yeah,
He's kind of low key. King, I don't think he's making music. I hope not, because
he's making music.
you know what?
He's making
Shame,
music.
shame, shame on me. I've never seen King and Ice Spice in the same room.
I don't know what you trying to infer there. I don't know what you
No,
trying to infer there.
King, he's a loose cannon. He seems privileged. He's turning on his dad. You know, he's a little hard head, and something's going to happen to him. I'm not wishing bad luck, but if he keeps with that mindset, something's going to happen to him that has him going crying back to his daddy and wishing he'd never, been acting that way. He
What do
living
you
your
think
life.
about what do you think about him having guns and all that? That's just like we saying, kids will be kids, but as a parent, you feel like, damn, like this the world is like somehow affected your child and it makes you feel some type of way. That's what I think, just as a parent's point
Ti
of view.
Ti, and I know I'm not saying he didn't do nothing, but
Mm.
he with King, he didn't drive the statement hard enough to say, I rap about this. I lived it so that you don't have to live this. Why do you want to embrace this shit? Jeezy was able to get that message through to his son. He said, this shit I don't rap about, you better not be doing. I'm doing this to pay the bills, put you through college. But T.I., I'm not going to say T.I. didn't drive it home hard enough. Well, he didn't. It's just that King didn't want to listen. He shouldn't have to live that lifestyle of needing guns. But he just caught up in the hype. You know, You put him in jail, he'd be a scared little bitch.
Hey, I just want to say this is just our opinions of it. None of it's
Yeah, these
like,
are opinions, and I
yeah.
stand behind my opinion 100%.
Mm, mm, mm. I ain't
Ti
gonna,
did. Ti
I
should
ain't
have
gonna
took him
say
somewhere.
somebody girl.
Ti should have took him into a bad neighborhood and said, you know what? Just tell him you my son, and let's see if you get out of here. Okay, let's see how that works for you. And of course, I wouldn't let him get out, but I would make that point. You know, yeah, I'm me. I'm me. You're you. You're not me. And
Every
he's trying to take the street cred his father rapped about like it was given to him. He didn't grow up in them streets. He grew up in a gated community. You needed to know the code to get in.
you got a security guard at the front gate.
Right. You don't have a you ain't worried about the lights going out or if I'm gonna get in what's the next meal gonna be or much less, toys and little trinkets and the latest gadgets. You ain't have to worry about none of that stuff.
Or syrup sandwiches.
Serve sandwiches or sleep sandwiches. You go to sleep thinking about eating because there wasn't really no food. But no, King ain't about that life. He ain't. He think he
Hey,
just
that ain't,
inherited and walked into it like he got a ghetto pass off the bat. He wouldn't survive in the ghetto.
hey, ain't that crazy though? As a kid, the traumas you experienced, you can laugh about now. Having to make sugar sandwiches, syrup sandwiches, air sandwiches.
Ear sandwiches.
You ain't never made no air sandwich?
Oh,
Just
air
no,
sandwich.
yeah, air, yeah,
No, that's
air.
that's called a jam sandwich. You take two pieces of bread and you jam it together.
Just straight air, fella. Just straight air. That's
Oh, I
all.
thought you said
But
ear. I'm like,
it's crazy.
shit.
Nah,
What
nah.
household is
Air,
this?
straight air. I mean, the
They
things you
didn't grow
learn
up
as
with
a kid,
cannibals.
you be like, this ain't normal. But as a kid, you be like, this normal. This normal. Yeah,
No,
it's
I
my life.
knew I knew it wasn't great, but it molded me into the person that and it wasn't for one like my parents didn't have jobs. It's just the world we were living in. It was just like they were trying to push the middle class into the lower class. Shit, times got hard. Shit, and then raising kids and even their basic needs. I look at that stuff now. Like I look at what I make as a salary and what I would have to, what I don't live paycheck to paycheck, but what I do to maintain my life. I pay my bills. I save. I take nice trips. I don't ball the fuck out, but at the same time, I'm not wanting for nothing, and I'm content. And I think about people that have to raise kids, newborns. Man, he spent a shitload on diapers and formula and shots and babysitters, and they grow out their clothes real quick, or kids going through
Daycare.
their daycare, or kids going through their growth spurt where you constantly buying shoes and they growing out their pants and stuff. I'm like, how the fuck do they do that? That shit sounds difficult, but yet they make it happen. I sometimes I just walk around and I just imagine that. It's just like, and at the same time, I'd be like, you know what? I could probably have two Corvettes if I wasn't, going on the trips and all of. Because if I want to go, I get up and go. There's no second thought about it. I could probably have two Corvettes in my driveway right now if I wanted to, but I don't really. I think I got everything I want. I don't need a Corvette. I don't need a physical, amulet or something physical to show my wealth. I'm happy with what I got, but I should be able to say, you know what, I want to go buy me a new Corvette right now. But I can't. I'd have to plan that shit out. So I'm like,
but
how do parents with kids do this shit?
but see, as a person with kids, it's like, man, you still gotta plan crazy. But you gotta think. For me, I think having kids made me out of the mindset because I used to. I used to dress differently. Buy the new fresh shoes, fresh pants, fresh like more now. I'm just more for comfortability. Like I buy for comfortability. What's comfortable? I don't care if it's necessarily expensive, but I always go for cheap. Like I'm wearing Skechers most of the time, or barefoot shoes. You know, that's like I ain't really extravagant with who I am anymore. It's more like my money is more geared towards what can get my kids off to a good start. That's like because the I didn't have the good start. I went from zero. You know, getting the two
Sure.
jobs, three jobs, working at shit places. You know, places that a lot of people grow to. But imagine working there and having to deal with people in that environment.
Hmm.
And one company I won't mention, but one company people shop there every day, but they make billions of dollars, but they're a shitty company, and they'll work you. I mean, at this one company, and I'll tell you off camera, but at this one company, they'll work you 40, 30 years, and you got a back brace on and everything, and they still expect you to work that same job like you did when you was 20,
Hmm.
and they cap you out at a salary or wage, whatever it is. They'll cap you out. They can't pay you anymore for that particular job. You either got to move up, but you done been in that same job 30, 40 years. That's 40 years of your life just wasted.
And
It's,
some people can't pick up and move on from that. They're stuck.
yeah, but companies will work them dog till they broken down. And I
That's the whole
saw,
point. I'm gonna use you till I can't use you no more.
yeah,
You're
and I
worthless to me. Your job position will be posted before your obituary.
that's the thing. I look around and I saw that. I was like, man, I don't know about this. But still, I was in a young kid mindset. Whatever, I can do this. You know, the young kid mindset. But you don't, and that's the thing that I tell my kids is now you don't have to do something that don't feel right for your spirit. Like just because these jobs are offered this money, but look how they treat people. Look how they interact with people. If you got majority of your work staff is on disability or close to being on disability, you did that. Like
Yeah.
that's a problem. That's a problem. And that's don't like I think Jay-Z said it best though. People die for equal pay and equal rights. You have a right to not be worked to your nothing. Like that's crazy to me. That companies they'll run you to the ground,
Yeah.
and they'll say, "Oh, you got the mindset. You don't mind working hard. Let's work you harder." Like just because people work hard, don't mean work them to the exhausted. That is just that's just the mindset that people and some corporations have lived in for years,
To
and it
squeeze the
works.
life out of you
Yeah,
just for them to make profit.
yeah.
So I want to give you an example too. The company we used to work at, a company was looking at buying our product to dye moss, like hobby moss and everything. They grow it and they paint it, just to give it that
Mhm.
really green. So the procedure that they had or currently or had was people were literally dipping it and then hanging it to dry, as opposed to using the machinery that we used to do. And I remember meeting the owner, and he's like, "Yeah, minimum wage is going up. If this machine can do what I need it to do, I can lay off 10 people."
See,
Yeah,
see.
so it's never, you know my phrase, they be putting the product before the people. And all they could think about was how to profit more, not about some of these individuals who migrants, don't speak English, and these the probably the best jobs they could get. And just because minimum wage is going up, they didn't want to pay that extra because what? Well, I see what they saying. Well, if I got to pay my employees more, then I got to charge more for this dead ass grass that I'm selling. But who's going to pay more for this grass? I need to find a way to not lose my profits. I see that, I understand that, but it's wrong to me in my eyes.
Well, see, that that tells you about the quality of their product too. Because if you believe in the quality of your product, it don't matter what the price you charge, people gonna pay for it because it's quality.
They were
And
looking
that's
at the
what
bottom line. Look how
yeah,
much money I'm gonna be losing.
yeah. But see, they would rather sacrifice the people than the product.
Hmm.
Something without the people, that product doesn't exist. So let's get
Exactly.
rid of the people. Let's get rid of the people. And that's what I
Exactly.
think. Just like I'm an engineer. I work on robots. But without me, without me, that robot doesn't can't function. When it goes down, what happens? Where's the person that's gonna work on that, right? That's the thing. People who built that robot. Without them, there's none of that. Without cars, without the people, you don't have cars. Without the people, you don't have houses. We the backbone, and that's what I think where a lot of companies have forgotten that because they don't invest in the people. Like like there's no and I'm not saying my particular company or your particular company, but there's no let's build up our people. There's none of that. It's more like this costing too much. We can cut here. We can fire him. We can fire him. We can fire her. And forget. I think even I mean it's in the news now, so I can say it. It's been in the news. Amazon firing their 10, 20,000 employees around Christmas time with no warning, no nothing, just laying them off.
Hmm.
That's that's just that's crazy. But that's one of the biggest corporations in the world who've made billions and billions and will continue to make billions of dollars.
I don't know. I keep no, no. Yeah, you're right about that. But with every, I don't know what word to use. With every evolution in business, it comes to a head and it pops, it explodes, and something comes to take over that's bigger and better. What's after Amazon? And when or if or when will that bubble pop on them? Yeah, they've been making changes. During the pandemic, they started building a lot more facilities. And once the pandemic was over, they realized they built too many. They outgrew themselves. And
But
now some of
see,
those buildings sit vacant. Like there's a Amazon distribution center right across the parking lot from my old job. Remember that?
mhm.
It's been vacant for over a year now.
But that's the thing too though. Like they Amazon believes in their company and they'll sacrifice the people to make that company still go. That building at one point wasn't vacant. It had employees in it,
Hmm.
and they all gone. They
Working
all gone.
24 hours. That plant was running
Yep.
24 hours.
And that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But the company's still alive and thriving. Hundreds of billions.
Jeff Bezos took a hit from his divorce and he's still filthy rich. He's still a trillionaire.
What's crazy is he he divorced her and made her the richest woman in the world, and he was still the richest man in the world. Now owns Elon Musk owns that title, but still, that's what I think about. And that brings up another good point too. You have billionaires into politics, and I don't think billionaires get into politics unless there's something
Oh, something
that they
something for
don't get
them.
on the term. Exactly. So
Oh,
they
they get
can.
on panels
I
and
mean, you
shit and they lobby for shit
yeah.
for, laws to go this way or that way, which will
Mhm.
benefit them. Yeah, of course. The Bushes, they always fought back on looking for alternatives to oil. Reason why they were so vested in oil as Texans. Why would I go looking for something and I got all my money in oil, you know? So that's why, little searches for alternate fuel sources never really kicked off until they were out of office.
That's money right there. and it and then I don't know if I want to talk. I don't know if I can talk about, but the stuff with Chase, like they're legendary for this family money. Basically, they're the bank. Their money is in their bank. Their family money's in the bank, and the family will just borrow from the bank, and then they're paying back the family. They're not paying the bank like what we would have to pay. They're paying the family. So that's wealth for the family still there.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part about that. Like that's how the world's set up. Like people have these rich families and they have a family owned bank where they just borrow money from the bank and they paying back the family. Y'all not really losing because we paying back the family. That's crazy.
You got to be careful with banks in general. You know,
Mm.
Chase, Bank of America, those are not American institutions. Most of them are owned by the Saudis or Middle Easterners. So the money is going back there to benefit them. You got to be careful where you
I
put
thought
your money in.
I thought J.P. Morgan was that's the Morgan family.
JP
That's
Morgan, yeah, is an American owned institution, yeah. But like
I thought
when I
the
said,
Chase was a part of that.
no, I didn't know that, but
Or am
I
I
know
wrong?
for sure Bank of America is not an American bank. And the reason that that one sticks out the most is just because in the name. I'm like, man, that's marketing. Bank of America, but it's owned by the Saudis. It's owned by Middle Easters, yeah. And that money goes back. I stayed on the west side. There was this corner store was under investigation for aiding terrorism. They were sending that money back to aid terrorism. So be careful who you invest in and what they invest in. So
That's
look, I'm ready
crazy,
to
man.
talk about the sorry ass Bears. I've been holding back for this. I want to talk about these sorry ass Bears. And I feel like an ass because
I,
I was going around repeating it. Oh yeah, they got us projected to be, number one in the NFC North. Uh, be careful what you're saying, who the sources are, because look at them sad, sad, sad motherfuckers. The saddest act I saw, and this was by far, and I was sick all weekend, so I'm waking up and out, and I woke up at halftime, and I'm watching the game, and I'm watching the rest of the game. Bears finally making in the end zone on offense. Caleb Williams to a rookie receiver.
Mhm.
After he makes the touchdown, Caleb Williams runs to him and is like, "No, give me that ball. That's my first, thrown touchdown." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you threw this at me. If you wanted this, you should have ran it in." But they were on the TV screen and they showed us over literally he was trying to get the ball from him. They wasn't physically fighting, but he wanted that ball to claim as his first, NFL touchdown. And I'm like, dude, get more. Well, first of all, you threw it to me, so fuck you. This is mine. And in the end, the receiver kept it, which is rightfully so.
In the end, don't have Roy on the team because you ain't getting that ball.
You ain't getting the ball. I don't care if I'm the punter. If I got to run out on the field and grab it and run it in, my ball. Make me do how many minute laps or whatever after the game. It's my ball. But no, I thought that was classless. I don't know, stupid, thirsty. I can come with a whole lot of adjectives. And this was on national TV. And every time I saw replays of that game, they were showing that clip of him literally wanting that ball because it was his first, thrown touchdown. And I'm like, if you think that's where you peak at, we've destroyed you. We're done with you. Be gone now. Look at Justin Fields. I call Chicago Bears the destroyer of quarterbacks. Look at Justin Fields, 3-0. Enough said. Bears are the destroyer of quarterbacks. And you can write me and curse me out if you die-hard Bear fans, but I'll only read it if it's a lie. I'll only
All
read
right.
it live if it's a lie.
Is it? Let me. Can I rebuttal? Can I rebuttal?
It's all yours, my brother.
Let me. First, I think that whole scenario was just lighthearted. They both laughed about it. They both even talked about it in the press conference. So it was. I think that's lighthearted. But what I will say is, I don't understand how we still have the offensive struggle. You've had 4 months essentially before the season, and they've had allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not. The playbook has been given to him before he was even drafted as the number one quarterback. Your receivers, everybody were meeting Summers. How are we still having miscommunications on routes, on protections? Like it all points to coaching. And that's where I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, because how the hell do we just replace the center? Just one center, and an offensive line looks like they can't run block, they can't pass block, they can't do nothing. They're just automatically the worst offensive line in the league.
Can't protect the quarterback.
That does not make sense to me. So it points back to coaching. That's what I. And then there's a scene, not a scene like it's a movie, but there's a video of Caleb walking to the sideline, like asking Shane Waldron, "What the hell are you calling? Like, what are you calling?" Putting his hand in the air.
I saw that.
That's the thing. I'm like, and then I look at games like Jaden Daniels, his coaching. They're not putting it on his plate to make audibles and changes at the line. He gets to play. They make the adjustments. The center communicates it. He's communicating it. It's more fluent communication, so the routes look crisper. The timing looks crisper, and it's like it's a well-run engine. And you can see the difference level of coaching that Jalen is getting and then what Caleb is getting. Caleb has to decipher it all. So it's of course it's taking him longer because he has to decipher everything. The protection, the blitz, where it's coming from, all that. They're making it easier on Jalen than what Caleb is getting. Which I don't know if in the end who's going to benefit more from that. Hopefully it's Caleb because I'm a Bears fan. But I just think for him, and he's been a great. Never once has he been like complaining or frustrated to the point where he's just like sick of this or all that. He stepped up to the podium and say, "I made these mistakes. I got to be better. This has to be better. Everything has to be better." And he gave a great praise to his defense every time. The defense has been uh, one unit out there, balling. We gotta match the energy, and that's where he's been at with that. So I do appreciate that part of it because he's shown great leadership with that. But I'm really not understanding coaches with 20 years of experience still saying we got to protect the football. No, we got to win. We got to score. Like that's what you should be saying. We got to
Protect the
fucking
guy that
score.
has the football, whether it's
Yeah,
the receiver or the quarterback.
yeah. We got to score. We got to score. And Justin Fields talked about this. He's never been around a coach that really took the time and made every detail and explained every detail to him and guided the details to him. And that's what he's getting in with Mike Tomlin and his staff. Imagine if what If Caleb got that, those 3 games would have went a lot better than what they were. And that's why I think the we have to do better part should come up with coaching. Because if you're going to give all this to a quarterback, a rookie quarterback, and a rookie wide receiver, and a fresh offensive line, you should be better at coaching. There's no way in hell you should have a 5'8" receiver, less than 200 pounds, blocking a DN over 230 pounds, 6'5". No way in hell. No way in hell you should be doing that. And you should know
Why?
that as a coach. You should know that as a coach.
While you're
You should know that.
celebrating Caleb, his poise after the games, sitting on the podium after losses. Remember, this happened to Justin Fields too. He went through that week after week, and one week he got on there and he said something that he shouldn't have said. He literally shitted on his teammates. It was out of frustration. I get it, and he retracted his statement afterwards. It's only a matter of time before that happens to Caleb. If I'm not getting the protection, it's a joke. I wish he was a good runner like Justin because he could turn around and run the ball more. But no, he's not a runner. He's not getting the protection to the same effect that Justin wasn't getting. Justin just had a plan B. And to
You know
me,
what?
none of them read the offense. I mean, reads the field. I think once they call a play and they got a receiver in mind, they forget about everybody else and they don't consider the alternate, selection or
Who the,
pass.
who doesn't read the field?
I don't think Caleb reads the field. I think he just like Justin, and if you watch old tapes, he had his eye on the receiver from when he yelled hike. He knew who he wanted to throw it to, but he never kept open the possibility of, okay, just in case he's got coverage, he's not open, whatever. I got to throw it to him. It seemed like Caleb doesn't read the field. He just got his focus on that one intended receiver who he said, "Watch out, this is coming to you," and he doesn't have a backup plan.
Well, I'll give an example. What I see with Caleb is he'll stay on 1 or 2 reads far too long, and he'll get late back to his check down. I wouldn't say he doesn't read the field. I think sometimes he'll stay on his first 2 reads far too long. Like you saw in the Colts game, he got to his check down or the out route far too late, and it was an interception. The guy was already sitting on it, and by the time Caleb got to it, it was too late. The guy was sitting on it, and that's his thing. And I don't even think that comes with playing, but as far as him not seeing the field, I don't think that. I think sometimes he stays in 1 or 2 areas far too long, and then when he gets back down to his check downs or his short routes, it's too late, and that happens throughout the game occasionally. But with like Jalen Daniels, he has the situation where he sees his guy open, he'll throw it. He'll throw it. If a guy's coming open, he'll throw it. His eyes are a little more trained for deep balls than short, mid-range stuff. Like, and they do a lot of play action with Jalen Daniels to cut the field in half because he has that running ability. Zone scheme, that's that running ability. Caleb doesn't have that. He's not a 4-3 guy. He's not a 4-4 guy. He's not Justin. He's not that. But
And
that's what they do with Jake.
unfortunately, he needs to be because again, back to the offensive line, they don't give him enough protection.
Which is crazy. I was just gonna bring up a stat. Caleb is getting the ball out at 2.5 seconds, which is the NFL average. And he's gotten the ball out. He's gotten the ball out 1 throw. He got the ball out at 2.1 seconds, and he had pressure in his face in 1.8 seconds. That's incredible. That is fast. You might as well not even be there. Like if you're a lineman, you might as well not even be there because in under 2 seconds he has pressure in his face. That's terrible. That's terrible. Like I'll say this for our offensive linemen, and I'm sorry if y'all take it as disrespect, but hopefully y'all hear me. To be that big and that sorry should be a crime. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you 6'5", 320, 370, 290, and your job is to protect and block and move your feet, I would be training that every month, every day, every hour. So you should not be that sorry doing it. And no way another grown man should be tossing you to the ground either. Braxton Jones, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just throw it out there for you. Cause there was a literally, you put this on tape, so I'm gonna discuss it. You had a man come around your out left shoulder, and all you did was swipe at him. All you did was this. All you did was this. And you didn't try to get a body on him. You didn't try to take him down. None of that. You just swiped at him. And I'm looking like, come on, you a professional. A professional.
You tried to Mr.
Mar-
Miyagi him.
yeah. You did a swipe at him. You're a professional. Like the nastiness in our offensive line, the days of like Owen Krutz, that stuff is gone. Like nobody's like getting physical. That's what you're supposed to get if you're offensive lineman. Because the trenches, that's why most offensive linemen, I don't know if you ever seen like in high school, they fingers be effed up. All this be like they throwing up gang signs. Because they fingers get get caught in the helmet or get caught in the trenches and they mess up their fingers. I'm looking at like we ain't getting that with none of our guys. It's like all finesse on the 4th and inches. That play, and it pisses me off every time I talk about this. But that 4th and inches, where they did the out, do the spread, all five of our damn linemen ended up on the ground. Guess what the coach was? In the backfield. like what the hell? Like, and ESPN so bogus. They just they freeze frame it. Well, all our fucking offensive linemen is on the damn ground, and it's like,
If you see right here,
like, how does that? That's my that it pisses me off every time. Because how does that happen? Everybody on the ground. Like, what are you doing?
What do the Bears need to do to turn it around?
I
Besides the
think they
obvious.
need to get. I think they're gonna have to experiment with some offensive linemen because, and it has to be more detailed in the calls. What the protection gonna be, who blocking who, how to block who, because that's there's another one, Mercedes Lewis and Cole Kmet. Mercedes Lewis he chipped him, but he pushed him past Cole Kmet, and he got past him because of the push. Like, you should be teaming up on this guy. If y'all both tight ends, he's a DN. You should take him completely out of the play. And that's a play we end up getting the strip sack on. That's a possession that cost us the game because we could have went down and scored. And if you look on that play, Roma Doomsday was wide open. Would have went for a big game. And he was going to throw it to him. But got a strip sack because of shitty blocking. It's just those small little details not done right causing big problems. And that's the problem with our team right now. It's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of understanding from the players' perspective. I don't think the coaches really. I don't think they understand yet. Somebody need to slap a book across their motherfucking head. But the players understand, so they executing to the best of their ability. But it's just the small details of communication, the missed timing on routes. Like, it's been a lot of it with DJ Moore and Caleb too. The comeback routes, the landmark that he's hitting, the quarterback's hitting, Caleb's hitting, is not the landmark DJ Moore thinks he should be hitting. They got to get on the same page, and that's just been a revolving door in these first 3 games. Because it's like, man, if we can nail one or two of them passes, that's 50 yards there, 40 yards there. That could mean touchdowns. More touchdowns. This is my thing. And I know I broke it down like that, but I've been watching Bears football a long time. And it's like I used to see like with Mitchell Trubisky, man, it was all over the place. All over the place. If if the first read wasn't open, that second read ain't getting that ball. Or that third ain't getting that ball. You probably gonna run that. With Justin, it was that first year, it was the same thing. If that first read wasn't open, he ain't getting that ball. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He could let's run it. Let's run it. That's what they did the second year. They was like, let's just run it. Let's just run it. And there were times they actually took the game away from Justin. And I never understood that. There was a game, they had this man only throw the ball 10 times in an entire football game. They only threw the ball 10 times.
Wow.
That's an embarrassing game plan.
It just seems like
That's crazy.
it's funny. I don't be laser focused on the games, but it's just like, okay, Bears have the ball on 1st and 10, and then it's like I blink and it's like, okay, it's 3rd and 15. I'm like, what happened to the second down? It's just that quick. You just went from get the ball to, hey, your punt team's running out on the floor now. Yeah, it's like I think I know there's probably a stat there of, well, I know, dude, possession time. It just seemed like the Bears don't hold on to the ball that long.
Well, you'll be shocked to know in that game we lost against Indy. We held the ball. I believe. Let me get the number right. I believe it's over 70% of the game. We held the ball.
Really?
Over 70% of the game. Let me get the stat right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching What the Fellas Think podcast, episode 19. Episode 19.
So in the first half, they broke it down this way, half by half. In the first half, we held the ball for 19 and 20 seconds. 19 minutes and 20 seconds out of 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we held the ball the majority of that half. And then in the second half, we held the ball for 18:47 out of 30 minutes. So that's the majority of the game. We held the ball. We had the most possessions. Ran over 74 plays. And we lost that game.
Still,
And we lost to a quarterback. You will not believe his completion percentage. If I tell you, you wouldn't even be able to guess.
Yeah, the tailgating for this indie game was ridiculous. I was actually supposed to go, and I saw pictures. Nothing but a sea of Bear jerseys, Bear shirts. I mean, when we travel hard, and being that it's only a 3-hour drive, of course we're gonna show up there. I want to see that same energy in Green Bay. Let's travel up there. Travel up Green Bay that deep.
I don't think that's gonna happen, fella.
No,
It'd be fights in that arena.
yeah,
It's gonna be fights in that arena. But the Bears are at home this Sunday, so you ain't got to travel far.
and I
They
just
ain't
put
coming
my
to
picks
us.
in. Who are they playing?
The Rams. Matthew Stafford.
A game we should win.
We should have won against the Colts. We should win all three of these next games.
Should
We
have
play
won against the
the
Texans.
Rams. Yep. Oh, that was another game. Oh, that's another game. I didn't understand that. How the hell we have the same amount of first downs, same amount of scoring opportunities,
We had a
and they
lot of
just
possession time on that game.
yep.
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't understand. We just not sealing the deal when we down there. We one of the worst teams in the red zone.
Well, I want to turn this conversation around, and the only way I can do that is if they turn it around. So I hope they get their act together, and I can show them some praise because I'm gonna keep calling them out until they get it right.
Oh man,
So what?
it's
Have we
been
lost
20
interest
years.
in Chicago Sky? We haven't talked about them lately. I know.
The Chicago Sky, the Chicago Sky are out of the playoffs.
Oh, they
So
didn't
after
make
the
the
All Star,
playoffs.
no, no, Caitlin Clark did, and she did win unanimous Rookie of the Year.
Oh, that. You know what? Even if Angela Reese was still playing injury free, it was all Caitlin Clark, and it was based on the numbers she's putting up. Angela Reese was
Now
doing
I
some
think it
nice
was
double
based on.
doubles. Angela Reese was doing
I
some
think it
nice
was.
double doubles, but Caitlin Clark was putting up the points.
I think it was based on her team success because they were under 500 before the All Star break, and then they just started
That
winning.
too.
And when
Yeah,
they were
that too.
beating, yeah, yeah, she improved a seed. And I believe they went into the playoffs as a number 4 seed, and they
And even
were like
so,
the 10th.
if you'd asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have probably told you whether I like it or not. Caitlin Clark was going to be the rookie of the year. It's just like something like all you already knew.
I didn't think so. I thought it was closer than that. But once the Sky started doing this and the Indiana Fever started doing that, I was like, she got it. She got it already because they winning. They were really winning, and they were good playing against some good teams. Seattle Storms. Uh, what do they call them? They're not called the Seattle Storm. What do they call? I, I always forget what they call. But Seattle, the Atlanta Dream, the Ace. She beat the Ace in that. Going against Wilson. So
Hmm.
that was good. And Wilson did win the unanimous MVP, which she definitely deserved her third one. So
Yeah,
she
it's
definitely.
funny how the big topic for the whole season was Angela Reese, Caitlin Clark, as opposed to Asia Wilson just being Asia. But the talk was Angela Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
So
I didn't understand it, but that's what they chose to talk about.
outselling NBA games. Let's see what happens next year. I mean, I can only see bigger things for the WNBA as a whole, and
I think they'll have to end up renegotiating some contracts because they TV ratings have went up, advertisement has went up, they in more commercials. I think
I
they'll
don't
have
think
to.
I don't think I don't think they're going to do that in the first. Definitely not in the first year, because you giving me a pay bump. I want to pad my pockets before I start sharing the wealth. They're like,
Well,
they'll be like, show me it's not a fluke. Do it again this season. Yeah,
well, they already have a $2.2 billion deal on the table, so I think that's more money than they've seen in quite some time.
and I think they're going to get more national games, nationally televised games, uh, the next following season.
I think they just need to market it better because it's been too many times. Oh, you look up and you be like, oh, their game is on. That game is on. Oh,
Yeah,
it's this
better
game on.
advertising.
Yeah,
If you don't
yeah,
have your favorite team in the app, you get the notification, you won't even notice it. That's how I found out about the
exactly,
Sky games. Yeah.
exactly. That's crazy. Oh, I always wanted to ask you since you're a fan of Angela Reese, her aesthetic look. You're a fan of that. So Angela Reese says she will only date uh people who are 6'7", more than likely, which would be an NBA ball player, because I ain't no regular smuggler walking around here 6'7".
Yeah, I
I'm
know
something
that.
out.
There, there goes my shot. Fuck. Hey, but she wants what she wants.
Yeah, it's crazy though, right? Because we always talk about, well, we just talked about the standards that people will have. It's
Hmm.
money, height, all that. But
Hey, so you said you had some things you wanted to end the show with. You had some, I'm sorry, some questions to ask or some situations to throw my way or something like that.
no, I had some just some lighthearted dad jokes.
Okay,
And
come with them.
all
See
right.
see if you can make me laugh.
All right, let me get something for you. All right, it's an easy one. What did the janitor say when he jumped out the class?
I don't know. What did he say?
Supplies. You see, you wanted to laugh. You wanted to laugh. You wanted to... you wanted to laugh. You wanted to laugh. See,
See,
see, you
now
wanted.
I gotta get a set of coveralls, go into a school and do that all day. Supplies.
All right,
They're
here's
like that's
another
old man Jones. He
one.
crazy.
Here's another one. What did the ocean say to the shore?
Something about a wave, but go ahead.
Nothing. It just waved. It just waved.
Ah,
uh,
oh, he disappeared.
uh, what did the skeleton? Why don't skeletons fight each other?
They don't have a bone to pick or something. I don't know.
Because they don't have no guts.
You know what? We're gonna stop you right here. You peeked at the first joke.
Hey, it's dad jokes. That's all. It's dad jokes.
Yeah, it's bad jokes. It's bad jokes. Look, we gonna quit while we ahead. We are literally gonna quit while we ahead.
Well, I hope our audience did enjoy my little jokes. I just wanted to have a little dad joke set.
You know what? Maybe if I was high, I'd say give me some more. But yeah, we're gonna quit while we ahead. I had a good time with you, Brandon. This is our second time doing it. Let me don't say something diddly. Yeah, but yeah, this is our second, 2-man show with me and you. And again, I
Mhm.
enjoyed it. But next week, we're really gonna bring something to the listeners, something insightful. I really don't know how to describe it. I've been working in the background, back scenes, trying to get this together. And next week is going to be a great show. I want to say a great topic. It's not like what you'll expect, and I'm not even going to go into it, but it has a point. This kind of hits home with me a little bit. This my community, and I think next week is going to be a great show. We have a surprise commentator. I believe Jeremy will be back, but it'll be a foursome. I can say that without saying no homo or pause, which I hate saying that bullshit anyway, because it's a girl. To bring a female perspective to our show, probably try to tame us, which I doubt. She has extended. She has a history in the podcast field. I've been wanting to introduce her to the guys for a while. So she'll be making an appearance next week. Hope you guys tune in. Great subject matter. We got a lot of stuff we're planning to bring with. bring to you guys in the next couple of weeks. Should there be more in the world to talk about? Election time, what Halloween costume Brandon will be wearing this year, stuff like that. When was the last time you dressed for Halloween? I know you got kids and all, but I mean, have you ever went to?
That ain't been
Can you
since
remember a Halloween party? Last one.
last one I've been to is maybe 26, 25. That was college, going to like college days.
Mm. Oh, when you were 26 and 25.
Yeah,
Well, but yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff coming up. Jeremy should be back again next week, like I said. If you want to reach out to us, we are on Instagram. How do you find us? Type in what the fellas think. Nothing special, fancy about the wording. What the fellas think. How do you get in contact with us for emails, comments, concerns, questions that we can read over the air? It's WT, which stands for what the, is WT fellas think at gmail.com. I'm looking forward to these letters.
Yes, we want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe because want to tell us what we can improve. Tell us what things you want us to talk about. All that. We
Right.
love to hear from
And our
y'all.
following is growing. More subscribers are coming on. Every time I go on there, I see we have subscribers, more views, and not necessarily that we got more subscribers than views. We get views, in the 30s, 40s, 50s. But our subscribers are increasing, and I'm happy for that. Again, and this is all based off of 19. And again, I dare you to find the first one. If you can find it and tell us what the subject matter was, you will get a prize. But you have to have proof. No, the reason I said that is because we thought we were recording, but it never yet recorded. So I say that with confidence, but somebody will come out with some AI of a full show, us talking about everything, and like, okay, you got us. But no, first one exists, happened, but there's no footage of it. But reach out to us, subscribe. Was that a ghost? Come on now, I sleep by myself now. I'm scared.
What he say?